In this video essay, I'll be examining gender in film by examining female non-leads. In the films Skate Kitchen, Lingua Franca, and Run, there are 3 scenes which are perfect for analysis of how gender and cis-normative gender expectations are represented in film. For this analysis, I've selected 3 women and 3 scenes from each film. I've subjected each film to the 3 tests I've explained in my second video essay. The Bechdel test requires 2 women who speak to each other and not about men. The second test, the film must have a fully realized and relevant LGBT+ character. The third test requires people of color to have fully realized lives, rather than serving as scenery in white stories. Again, while these tests do help, they are not clear indicators of a film's ability to accurately portray women and intersectionality in film. With this in mind, let's begin. Skate Kitchen. Skate Kitchen is a drama which came out in 2018 and passes the Bechdel, Vito Russo, and Duvernay tests with flying colors. The film features many strong young women who skate, and Kurt, one of the supporting protagonists, is a lesbian who is outspoken and rowdy. While the story follows the main protagonist, Camille's perspective, Kurt is one of the new friends who takes her under their wing as the main struggles with her mom's disapproval. She's a white lesbian, but she's not shown to struggle with her gender or sexual identity in the film. Kurt is confident in herself and uplifts and validates her friends when they need it. One scene which demonstrates the prevalence of cis-normative gender roles is when Kurt is challenged by some skater boys to teach her girlfriend how to skate. They are shown harassing the skater girls and even taking Kurt's board, which she does not take too kindly. Rather than adhering to the cis-normative and misogynistic expectations of her and other young women, Kurt does not stay meek or quiet as this happens. She runs after the boy, yelling and cursing, and eventually is shown in the next shot with her board. This scene shows how Kurt chooses to go against gender expectations and defend what is hers. Her intersectional identities as a lesbian and woman are not a hindrance for her. Lingua Franca. Lingua Franca is the next film which also passes all of the tests phenomenally. In the 2019 drama, the perspective is split between Alex, an alcoholic man who has to live with his older grandmother who requires live-in help, and Olivia, a young Filipina trans woman who assists Alex's grandmother as her main caretaker. Olivia in Lingua Franca is a very accurately depicted trans woman and illegal immigrant in the movie. Due to the private and secretive nature of her intersecting identities, Olivia is manipulated and lied to by Alex. As an illegal immigrant, Olivia is in a vulnerable position. She risks exposure and deportation. Furthermore, as a post-op trans woman, Olivia has even more secrets to hide if she wants to find a man to marry for legalization or for love. The scene which demonstrates the prevalence of cis-normative gender roles embodied by her and Alex is the one in which Alex wakes up late from a night of drinking and upsets his grandmother by trying to force her to the bathroom to give her a bath. Here, Alex embodies the aggression and force expected of the cis male gender, while Olivia fixes the situation by handling it with the expected cis-feminine approach of kindness and nurturing. The film uses this juxtaposition as a way to force viewers to see Olivia as a cis-feminine, despite her trans identity. For Olivia and many trans women, softness is not weakness, and conforming to cis-normative notions of traditional femininity is just a natural part of performing gender. Run. The 2020 psychological thriller Run, featuring Sarah Paulson, was certainly a very different film from the previous 2. Paulson's performance as Diane, the single mother of a disabled young woman named Chloe, is excellent, but the film unfortunately passes only the Bechdel test and not the other 2. The film is a split perspective, single narrative between 2 protagonists, similar to Lingua Franca. At the start of the film, Diane is seen as an empowering girl boss, doing it as a single mother raising a smart and capable disabled teen daughter. She subverts expectations for the white single mother role. We then learn she's an abusive and psychotic mother motivated by trauma and loss of her newborn baby to steal another baby and raise her to believe she's disabled so that she can continue to baby her for her entire life. Or at least that was the plan. As Chloe starts to understand what's going on, the film quickly becomes like a disabled person's version of the movie Get Out, as she rushes to escape the home and wheel herself down the road. The scene I chose, which demonstrates the prevalence of cis-normative gender roles, occurs as Chloe is stopped by a mailman who is then forced to step in. In the scene, Diane is shown accusing the mailman of being predatory towards Chloe and tries to shift the blame on him for why Chloe is hurt. Diane is using cis-normative gender stereotypes of men being inherently predatory to try to manipulate the situation to her advantage.
Here we see the flip side of conforming to gender roles. While Olivia conforms to cis-normativity to help at her job, Diane weaponizes this conformity and uses it as a tool of manipulation and deceit. Concluding thoughts. The films and characters examined give us a well-rounded look at how gender and femininity are portrayed in current films. Each of the characters have their distinct dispositions and personalities, and because of this, not all of them are the same or share very many similarities apart from being women. Additionally, not all of them conform to what Western media and society dictate as ideal femininity. They are all different in their ages. Olivia and Diane are presumed straight, while Kurt is an out lesbian, and they all have different spousal dynamics. Olivia is more quiet, while Kurt is loud, and Diane is calculated. While these women are not the sole main character or perspectives in their respective films, they do have important roles, both in terms of representation of women as well as gender and gender expectations in the cis-normative world of cinema.